Hey Dragonflies, it's time for another lesson with Mr. Madsen. Today we're going to talk about second step again. Last time we talked about several things in our first lesson. Let's do a quick review. First, that our feelings are kind of like the weather. So if we're happy, we're content, it's kind of a sunny day. If we're sad, it might be kind of a rainy day. If we're mad, there might be lightning or thunder. If we're scared, there might be big dark clouds and maybe the threat of thunder and lightning. If we're worried, the picture here is snow. We talked about that last time, that if it was snowing, the only people that might be worried are adults that might have to drive in it. Otherwise, kids are usually pretty happy when it's snowing. So that one doesn't necessarily fit. Embarrassed is like a big wind that is unexpected, and it's a feeling that you really don't want to feel. You want it to just go away. Shocked, we have lightning, thunder, rain. It's a surprise. And confused is kind of like a tornado or a hurricane. Just a lot going on in a big whirlwind, okay? But our feelings can be like the weather. And our feelings are just how we respond when something happens to us. They're just feelings. They're not good, they're not bad, they're just feelings. And they're trying to let us know what our body is, what the sensations are that our body is experiencing. Okay? So it's our sensations. I want to remind you too, remember Kelso. Kelso helps us solve small problems, okay? And he gave us 9 ways to solve small problems, okay? But if we have a big problem, a lot of you know that that's when we have to all get help from other adults. Adults that we trust. Even adults have to get help from adults that we trust. So Kelso helps us with small problems, and he gave us 9 ways. But big problems are big, and they're scary, and they're dangerous. And that's when we get help. All right, so I have a little test for you, and I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I want you to think in your mind as I present these situations. And I want you to think, is this a small problem or is this a big problem? Here we go. First one. You see someone running into the street. Now think about that. They're running out into the street. Maybe they're chasing a ball. I don't know. But think to yourself, is that scary? Yes. Is it dangerous? Yes. So that means it's probably what? Small or big? If you guessed big, you are absolutely right. It is a big problem. It's scary and it's dangerous. Nice job. Next one. Someone is throwing rocks and sticks and bark chips. They're throwing them. And maybe they're throwing them at you. Or maybe they're throwing them at a friend. Either way, let's ask ourselves, is that scary? Could be, yeah. Is it dangerous? Most definitely. It could hit us in the eye, could hit us in the head. It could hurt us. So that means it's right. It's a big problem. Exactly. That's 2 big problems. Okay. Next one. Oh, this is a tricky one. Someone calls you a name. Maybe it's a mean name too. A name that hurts your feelings. I don't know what that name would be. I'm certainly not going to give you ideas about what that name would be. But I think we all have an idea of what someone might say that would hurt our feelings. Well, let's ask ourselves this. So if someone calls us a name, is that scary? Not really. They're just calling us a name, right? But does it hurt our feelings? Most definitely. Does it make our feelings get really big? Most definitely. But is it scary? Not really. Is it dangerous that they call us a name? Think about that. Is it dangerous? Can it hurt us physically? No. So, it's not scary and it's not dangerous. It just doesn't feel good. Well, let's see. Small or big, what do you think? If you said small, you're right. It doesn't make it right. If someone calls us a name, and they do it over time, then it could become a big problem. It could become a problem, and that person doing that is called a bully. but it has to be over time, meaning happen a long time, over and over and over. Okay? Certainly, if someone calls you a hurtful name, you can go get help with that problem. You can talk to adults that you trust, and they can help you remember that you could walk away from that person. You could ask them to stop. You could ignore them, which is the hardest thing in the world to do. But those are things you could do to solve this problem. Okay? Someone takes cuts in line is the next one. So let's say when we can stand in lines again after the pandemic, and you're standing by your best friend, and someone steps in front of you and they take cuts. Is that scary? No, not really. Is it dangerous? No, not really. So that would be a small problem. Good job. Give yourselves a hand if you got those right. That's awesome. Yeah. I've got 4 more for us. Okay. This one is someone playing with matches or playing with fire. Scary? Yes. Dangerous? Yes. You guys know this. It's a big problem, right? Playing with fire is a big problem. Someone making noises while you're trying to do some work. We saw a video about this. Do you remember? Yeah. Is that scary? No. Is it dangerous? No. It's just annoying, right? So that's a small problem. All right, here's another one. Someone is saving a swing for a friend. You go out to recess and you want to swing, and the only swing available, someone's got their arm around it and they're saying, I'm saving it for my friend. Is that scary? No. Is it dangerous? No. Unless they're trying to swing with that swing, right? That could be dangerous, but dangerous for them, not for us. So that would be a small problem, right? And the last one, you're playing your favorite board game and someone cheats. They take a turn when it's not their turn, or they move their piece more times than they're supposed to, or they take money out of the bank. They cheat. So let's see, is that scary? No. Is it dangerous? No. You could always just go play a different game, right? Or you could ask them to stop. So that would be a small problem. All right, give yourselves a hand again if you did really well on that, okay? We're going to move on to this picture, and this is a picture from last time. And this was Teresa, I believe is her name. And Teresa, do you remember what happened? Yeah, look at the picture. Her paint spilled onto her picture that she just got done painting. And even though she was upset, she remembered to do breathing. She remembered to do belly breathing to calm herself down so she could figure out what to do to solve this problem. All right, I want you to watch this short movie about breathing, okay? And then we'll come back and we'll talk about it.
We've learned what feelings feel like, so we can recognize them when we have them. We're ready for the next step. Pause, rewind, and...
Didn't we forget something?
Forget something? What?
Oh, we forgot to breathe.
I'm breathing.
No, emotional ABCs breathing. We have to learn how to breathe to work with our feelings.
Oh, that breathing. Okay, let's learn to breathe.
But we're already breathing.
Yes, you are already breathing. But we're going to learn emotional ABCs breathing.
It's different than regular breathing?
Oh, yes, it's way different. Uh-oh.
I'll explain. Because feelings are strong and emotions are powerful, we need special breathing to do our emotional ABCs. No, nothing like that. That's too fast. Breathing fast actually makes it harder to figure out what we're feeling. Emotional ABCs breathing are deep, slow belly breaths. In 1, 2, 3. And out 1, 2, 3. In through your nose like you're smelling flowers. And out through your mouth like you're blowing out candles. And lastly, breathing for us means 3 breaths. In 1, 2, 3. Out 1, 2, 3. In 1, 2, 3. Out 1, 2, 3.
I feel calm.
All right. So, emotional ABCs breathing. The last video we watched from emotional ABCs was our feelings and sensations being like the weather. Now we've got this breathing. And we are thinking about how to breathe, how to help ourselves when we're upset. So the first step is to breathe in 1, 2, 3, like you're smelling flowers. Okay, that's easy. And hold. And then the next step is to breathe out 1, 2, 3, like you're blowing out candles. And you're not spitting on your candles. You're just a controlled, directed breath. So to do the emotional ABC breathing, we breathe in 1, 2, 3, like we're smelling flowers. And we breathe out 1, 2, 3, like we're blowing out candles. All right. There's lots of ways to do breathing, okay? And these are the 5 that we've talked about before. Belly breathing, balloon breaths, faucet breaths, hot cocoa breathing, where we smell the cocoa, we hold it, 1, 2, 3, and then we blow to cool it down, 1, 2, 3. And then we have volcano breaths as well. All of these are great ways to do breathing to calm ourselves down. Okay, now let's talk about our brains. And you probably, I don't know if you've seen this picture. I've seen some classrooms, their teacher has it up behind them. But there's 3 main parts of our brain that we're going to talk about, okay? Our brains are really complicated, but we're only going to talk about 3 parts. The first part is called the prefrontal cortex, and it's right in the front, okay? We sometimes nickname this the PFC, prefrontal cortex. It's an important part of our brain. It helps us to solve problems, it helps us to pay attention, and it helps us make good choices. It's the learning part of our brain, okay? The next part we're going to talk about is called the amygdala. Say that, amygdala. Good job, yeah. This is, see the pink part on this poster? There's 2 of them, one on each side of our brain. It's called the security guard. Do you know what security guards do? Yeah, they try to keep us safe. They watch for danger, and that's what the amygdala does. It looks for danger, and if it sees danger, it tells us to do one of these things. It tells us maybe to fight, which means defend ourselves, protect ourselves. Take flight is the next one, which means get out of that situation, get away from the dangerous thing. We might freeze, like pretend we're a statue and maybe the danger would go away on its own. We might faint, and fainting is kind of like falling asleep. It's kind of like freezing, what we just talked about, a statue, but also with your eyes closed, okay? And the last one is flinch. Flinching is what we do when we think there might be danger. So pretend like this door behind me gets slammed. I would flinch and look towards that door, okay? Flinching draws our attention to what might be dangerous, okay? The problem with the amygdala, it does a really good job of when it's dangerous telling us, hey, you got to do something to keep yourself safe. But sometimes it gets it wrong. Sometimes it thinks there's danger and there isn't. and it's not really good at making decisions. Remember the first part we talked about, our prefrontal cortex? That part of our brain is really good at making decisions, but not the amygdala. And when the amygdala gets activated, meaning goes into security mode, we have to do our deep breathing, the emotional ABC breathing or belly breathing. We have to do our breathing in order to calm the amygdala down so that our prefrontal cortex, the part that's really good at solving problems, can engage and solve the problem, okay? The last part of the brain we're going to talk about is called the hippocampus. No, it's not a hippopotamus like what lives in the jungle. It's a hippocampus. And it's the green part on this picture, okay? The hippocampus is really important. It is our library. It's like a file cabinet. It saves everything, okay? It's where things get stored and saved. Our memories, good and bad. Our habits, good and bad. That's where we store Kelso's choices, so when our PFC, prefrontal cortex, needs to solve a problem, it can go to the hippocampus and say, what were those choices? And the hippocampus can say, it's these 9 right away. And we can make a decision, okay? These are the 3 parts of the brain that we're going to focus on every time we talk. And the amygdala, though, that's the security guard, and that's also where our feelings are. So that's why it's important to breathe and calm the amygdala down so that our PFC, which is good at making decisions, can make decisions. Okay? So take a look at this picture. Here's 2 friends. They went out to the playground to play. One of the friends started climbing up the play structure. The other friend started to climb as well, but she fell. And you can see she's holding her knee. Okay? Now, what do you think she might be thinking? If you're thinking she's thinking, hey, my friend just pushed me off, she might be thinking that. Yeah. Or she might be thinking, I wish my friend would get down and help me. 2 possible choices, right? If she thinks that her friend pushed her off, what would that friend that's up on the structure, what could she do? If you're thinking, get down and ask her friend if she's okay and maybe help her, that's exactly right. When our friends get hurt, when other people get hurt that we don't know, it's good for us to check in and say, hey, are you okay? If she did bump her, it would be good for her to do another Kelso choice, which is apologize, right? Say sorry. Okay? Either way, the person that's on the ground needs help from the other person, I think. Either one way or the other. They either need to know that they didn't push them, or they need their help, and they need them to help them get to where they can get some real help. Okay. Look at this picture. So here we have 2 kids in their classroom, and when you get to come back to school, this might look like one of your areas in your classroom. And there might be these figures. Does anybody know what these figures are? If you said dinosaurs, you're absolutely right. Yeah. And so it's free choice time. And during free choice time, you usually get to choose from a couple different areas and things to play with. So now the boy, it looks like he got 3 dinosaurs, and he got like the plant eaters. It looks like the plant eaters, the ones that eat plants. But the girl, she must have got there first because she looks like she has Tyrannosaurus Rex and another big dinosaur. These are like the meat eaters. These are the ones that have sharp claws and they eat meat. What do you think the boy is thinking? First, how is he feeling? If you said sad, he does look kind of sad. How about the girl? How is she feeling? Yeah, she looks happy. She looks like, I'm having fun. I got the 2 dinosaurs that I wanted to play with. I'm having a good time. What do you think the boy wants? Yeah, I think he wants the bigger dinosaurs, right? I mean, he got 3 dinosaurs, and 3 is more than 2. But I think he really wanted to play with the meat eaters. Yeah. Can you think of a Kelso choice that he could do to try to solve this problem? If you're thinking share and take turns, you're absolutely right. He could ask her, hey, can we share the dinosaurs? Like, can we play together and share them or take turns? Can we make a deal and you play with them for a little bit and then we swap? Those are two choices that could work. If she said no, I don't know, every classroom is different and there are different rules. If she said no, there's another Kelso choice the boy could do if he was really sad. You're right, he could go to another game or go to another area and make a different choice. So he's got 3 choices, and they involve, though, talking. They involve talking to his friend here and trying to make a deal or share and take turns or go to another game. Yeah. All right, last one. Take a look at these boys. How do you think they're feeling? What do you think's going on? Okay, so let's do the boy with the ball first. You can barely see his face, but if you look, he's kind of smiling. Okay. And then the other boy with his hands on his hips, he's not smiling. He looks like he might be frustrated, mad. Yeah, here's what happened. The boy with his hands on his hips, he was playing with the ball, but the other boy came up and he wanted to play, but he didn't ask. He just took the ball. He thought it would be funny if he took the ball. Does the boy with his hands on his hips, does he think it's funny? No. So sometimes we think, oh, this is a good idea. This is how I can play with my friend, or this is how I can get that ball, when it's really not a great idea. So right now, the boy with the ball needs to recognize that the other boy is not happy and he's upset. And he probably needs to give the ball back and apologize and then do what? Yeah, ask if he can play with him. Yeah, exactly. That would be the best way to solve this problem. And once his friend with his hands on the hip, once he calms down, he could say, I was just teasing. I just thought it would be fun. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Because that's what we do with our friends. But the only way we know is if they think it's funny too, is if their face tells us that. Okay, remember? Our faces, we have to be detectives. Our faces tell us how the other person is feeling. All right, Dragonflies. This was a long lesson today. So I want you to go to the Flipgrid activity and then do that. And then I hope you have a great week. Take care.